Good morning and welcome to all the students. Welcome back in the social science class. So students, today from our geography chapter, we are going to cover our chapter number 7, our country India. Everybody knows about the King India very well, and today we are going to complete this chapter, our country India.
So in our last two sessions, we had covered some topic regarding this chapter, and today we are going to discuss about physical division of the India. As you know that our country have diversity, it has diversity. So in our last session, we came to know about the politician, or you can say political and administrative diversity, and as everybody knows about the different religion, culture, and food, the people, how they used to wear clothes. So we have a diversity in our country. Similarly, we have a physical division, or we can say the physical diversity also. So we had already know about this in major domains of the landform. So let's continue this topic and let's see what is in the topic of physical division. So this is our part 3 of this chapter, our country India. So physical divisions. India is marked by the diversity of physical features such as the mountains, plateau, plain, coasts, and islands. Standing as the sentinels in the north are the lofty snow capped Himalayas. Everybody knows that at the north we have lofty snow capped Himalayas. So I'll show you the picture also, and this picture I have taken from your NCERT book. So if you want, you can take out your book and open this picture, and this will help you in understanding the explanation. So as I told you, in the north we have lofty of Himalaya. So you can see here we have the Great Himalaya range. So what is the definition of a hill or a mountain? That it has a broad base, and it has a broad base. Everybody knows that. So we have the lofty Himalayas, and the hills are broad base and a narrow steep. Now our the next thing is we have plains also, and Himalayan means the abode of snow. The Himalayan mountain are divided into three main parallel range, and this is very important that Himalayan range are divided into three main parallel range. The northmost is the Great Himalaya or Himadri. So what is the name of northmost? Great Himalaya or Himadri. Okay, so we can say that is Great Himalaya or Himadri also. The world's highest peak are located in this range. Everybody knows about the word highest peaks, and where they are located? Yes, they are located at the Great Himalayas or Himadri. Middle Himalayas or Himachal lies in the south of Himadri. Many popular hill stations are here. So first parallel range is the Great Himalaya. Second parallel range is the Himachal or Middle Himalayas. Okay, the first Great Himalaya or Himadri. Second is Himachal, or we can say that Himachal or Middle Himachal and Middle Himalaya. So these are the two main parallel ranges which we were talking about. Now the Shivalik is the southernmost range, and the third is the Shivalik. Now open your picture again. Here we have Shivalik. You can see these are the Himalaya range. So Great Himalaya, middle, and this is the last one is Shivalik. You can see in your book picture very clearly. It is written very clearly Shivalik. So now it is done about the Himalaya. So we have three parallel range of Himalaya: Great Himalaya, Middle Himalaya, or Shivalik. Or we can say Himadri, Himachal, or Shivalik. Anything you can say. And everybody knows about the hills. This we had already covered in our previous chapters. Okay, and now you know about the Shivalik also. So the northern Indian plains lies in the south of the Himalayas. Now what we are talking about the northern Indian plains, and plains are the very useful, or we can say people used to live in the plains because it has a perfect climate. People can cultivate, people can construct on plains, roads are easily connected. So plains are very useful for a human being. So in the northern Indian plains, we are talking about the northern Indian plains, lies in the south of the Himalaya. They are generally level and flat. As I told you that here plains are generally level and flat. That's why people choose to live here on plains rather than the coast, or we can say on hills. These are formed by the alluvial deposit laid down by the river uh, Indus, Ganga, and the Brahmaputra and their tributary. The river plain provide fertile land for cultivation. That is the reason for the high cultivation. These are the formed by the alluvial deposit, and as everybody knows that the tributaries usually with the help of tributaries we form the land plains. The river plain provide fertile land for cultivation. That is the reason for the high concentration of population in these plains. Why we have the high concentration in plain? Because first thing, they have level and flat land. Second thing, because here the river provide fertile land, and everybody knows the people need land for the cultivation. And third thing also, here we can easily construct any building, bridge, road, and these things are very essential for human being for their survival. So second topic is our plain, and that is now I think you all understood. In the western part of India, we can say we have a great desert. Okay, so we have great desert at the western part of India. And what is the definition of desert? What do you think when I'm talking about desert? Now I'm showing you the great desert. Here we have a great desert. So we have the great desert, and when we are talking about the desert, we all know about the hot climate, lot of dust, and it is even very little vegetation. So this is all about the desert. So we have desert also, and we western part we have great Indian desert. As I told you, it is dry, hot, and sandy stretch of land. It has very little vegetation. So what are the features of a desert? Dry, hot, and sandy stretch of land, very little vegetation. So it is also very difficult to survive there in the desert rather than the plain. But still, yes, people of Rajasthan, Jodhpur, Jaipur, they are living there, they are surviving there. To the south of North Plains lies the Peninsula Plateau. So now we are talking about the south. So we have the Peninsula Plateau. It is a triangular in shape. The relief is highly uneven. So here the relief is highly uneven. This is the reason with the numerous hills, ranges, and valley. So why the peninsula plateau is highly uneven? Because we have lot of hills and valleys. Valleys, everybody knows about the valleys. Now Aravalli Hills, one of the oldest ranges of the world, border it on the northwest side. So you have to find out the Aravalli Hills on the map also. So when I am talking about anything, try to reach there in the map. Now the Vindhyas and the Satpuras are the important range. The river and the Tapi flow through these ranges. So here I am talking about the Vindhyas and Satpura range. So okay, you open your here we have Vindhyas and Satpura range. You can point out this in your book map also. So we are talking about the Vindhyas and Satpura range. The river Narmada and Tapi flow through these ranges. So maybe this question will also come. These are the west flowing river and drain into Arabian Sea. Now it is very important that some rivers flows and drain into Bay of Bengal, and some rivers flow and drain into Arabian Sea. So name the two rivers which flows and you can say which flows and drain into the Arabian Sea. If you see the map, you will see the direction of Narmada and Tapi towards the Arabian Sea. So where it draws into the Arabian Sea, and Mandakini, Brahmaputra, Ganga, their flow is towards the Bay of Bengal. So yes, Narmada and Tapi, you can say, they flows into Arabian Sea. The Western Ghats or the Shadri border, the plateau in the west and eastern Ghat provide the eastern boundary, while Western Ghat are almost continued. The eastern Ghat are unbroken and uneven. So here we are talking about the eastern and western Ghat. So some are giving boundary and some are you can say that it is almost unbroken. So it is written that eastern Ghats are broken and uneven. Now this, how you will understand, you can see the line. Eastern Ghat line is, if you see properly, I'm enlarging it for you. See now, Eastern Ghats are unbroken. This is not something you can say it is stretched completely, it is broken from somewhere. And if you see the Western Ghat, it is unbroken from everywhere. So this was I am talking about, that Eastern Ghats are broken and uneven, while Western Ghats are continue towards the we can say the Western Ghats are continued and unbroken. Now plateau, everybody knows that plateaus are rich in mineral like coal and iron ore. So yes, plateaus are rich in mineral. One of the very famous example of plateau, you know, Deccan Plateau. The west of the Western Ghat and the east of the Eastern Ghat lies the coastal plains. So what it lies the coastal plains. So coastal plains are also like plain, but it is near the coast. Everybody know about the coast, sea. In simple language we can say sea. The western coast plains are very narrow. The eastern coast plains are much broader. Okay, so western coast narrow, eastern coast broader. There are number of east flowing rivers. Now river Mandakini, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri all drain out into Bay of Bengal. As Narmada, Tapi drain into Arabian Sea, Mandakini, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri drain into Bay of Bengal. And when they drain into Bay of Bengal, these rivers have formed fertile delta at their mouth. Okay, fertile delta at their mouth. The Sundarban delta is formed by the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra flows into Bay of Bengal. This is very important, that Sundarban delta is formed by the combination of Ganga and Brahmaputra, and it is flows into Bay of Bengal. And one more important thing, that coral are the skeleton of the tiny marine animal called polymi. What are the coral? Yes, they are the tiny skeleton. Everybody knows about the skeleton of the tiny marine animal. When the living polymer die, their skeleton are left. Other polymer grow on the top of the hard skeleton, which grow higher and higher, thus forming the coral island. Okay, so coral island. What is coral island? When tiny marine animal die, their skeleton we can say left behind, another polymer grow into, and then it become like a island of the coral. This you can also see in your book, and one image is given there. So today in this session we I described you about the physical distribution of our country. And as we had already covered our chapter major landform of the, or we can say major landform, so now I think this is very easy to understand this chapter. So whenever you are understanding this chapter, please open this map and easily understand this. as it is in this map everything is given properly, you can say physical distribution of our country. And now what is your homework? You have to draw this or not draw, you have to purchase a map, physical map of India from market, and you have to fill or color this as it is and paste in your geography notebook. Okay students, so in our next session we'll come with the new chapter. Meanwhile you read this book, underline the important part, try to fill the book exercise, and I will also send you the PDF work very soon. But before that you try to fill the book exercise yourself based on your understanding and reading of the chapter. Sairam students.